so stupid right now. And this mirror is really dirty, wow. Anyways, it's time to bake some babies. Why is it every time I turn on the camera to catch something cute you're doing, you stop doing it? A couple seconds ago, that thing was spinning around and around, and she was like following it back and forth with her head, trying to catch it, chasing it around. I mean, this is still cute, but because it's hard for the bunny rabbit not to be cute. But what she was doing before was a lot funnier than this. Maybe if I keep filming, she'll do it again. Oh, 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 oh. Funny bunny. Funny bunny. Hey, don't chew on the wall, you. What are you doing? What do you have? That is not a good sign, miss. What do you have? What do you have? Let me see. What do you have? Oh, no. You could choke to death on that. Where'd that even come from? You gotta love how when she knows she has something she's not supposed to have, and I notice that she has something she's not supposed to have, she picks it up and runs away with it so I can't take it from her. Hello, frog fans. Okay, time to paint some babies. What do we go into next? I think... See what color jumps out at me first. Sure, why not? One of the kits I'm working on right now, the big baby, we've got Jillian by a sculptor that I can never remember the name of for some reason. I'm really good with remembering sculpt names. I never remember sculptors' names. They just slip my mind. The sculptors are wonderful and talented, and I love them. Because without them, my babies would not look half as good because I can't sculpt worth a damn. Cannot do it. I guess if I tried more, I might get good at it. I don't know. Without the sculptors, my babies would be painted well, but they would look like they had been in a car crash. if reborning involved you sculpting your own dolls. Okay, sponge, focus, moron. Sponge, little sponge. Sponge. I don't know. I got up early this morning, don't ask. Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. usually start with the legs. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I usually start with the legs. I'm always careful with the purple mottling, because if it's too dark, it starts to look weird. And weird in a way that you can't come back from. So this morning, not shortly after, I had a Zoom meeting first, or Google Teams meeting, which is, no, not Google, a Microsoft Teams meeting, which is basically Zoom, just a different name. Anyways, after I was finished with that, my mom asked if I do, like, that. My mom asked that if, she has a friend who, I can't remember if it's the friend or someone her friend knows who wants a silicone doll. And she asked if I do silicones. And I said, yeah, no, that is a completely different thing. Oh, and by the way, give her the heads up that it's going to be over $3,000. Because if you want a good silicone, that's what you're going to be shelling out. If not, it's probably a scam. Or a rip-off kit, or a couple years ago, these knockoff silicones were going around that were cheaper, but one, they were illegally copied kits that were casted into silicone, and they were made of a weird silicone that might have even had some nasty chemicals in it, you never know. Like, something had to happen to make the doll that cheap. So it's a good assumption that it was made with some sort of, the process and the materials going into that doll were, sketchy. But, yeah, unless the doll, like, if you find a silicone for under, like, high 2000s into the 4000s, even higher than that, like, you're almost definitely dealing with a scam, unless the doll is, like, all ripped up and, it looks ugly and stuff, like, which, there's no problem with selling those for a lower price, as long as, people know what they're getting, but most likely, if you're getting a silicone, or you think you're getting a silicone for, like, say, like, $800 or something, and it looks gorgeous, you're probably getting scammed. Just because the process of making a silicone doll is so much lengthier and more expensive than a reborn, so, yeah, and then I went on and explained other things, like the partial silicone doll, which is a silicone doll that has the limbs and head silicone, and then a cloth body, where most people want a full body silicone that has, obviously the entire body is made of silicone. And a brief confusion came up when we were talking, and she asked about, like, when I said partial, she wondered if I meant, partial silicone, like, half silicone, half vinyl. That is not a thing. Do not buy a doll that says silicone vinyl. That's not a thing. That's impossible. They are two very different materials. You cannot mix them. You cannot make a hybrid. It's like trying to mate a dog and a cat. It just ain't gonna happen, people. The two do not mix. As disturbing as the cartoon cat dog was, it's never gonna happen. Thank God. Who thought that was a good idea for a kid's show? Although a lot of those Nickelodeon shows were like, This is a kid's show. Actually, it's for the adults, but, you know, we're just gonna let it slide. There we go, that's nice. We're getting spooky. Not just because of Halloween, because, you know, this stage of the dolls always looks a little creepy. No matter what. I don't know what I was just about to say. I was halfway through a thought and it was starting to come out and then it ran away. Whenever I have a moment like that, sometimes it freaks me out a little bit, because it's like, you know, you're only 20, but at the same time, is your brain starting to go? Like, when I was in college last year, and I was going through that really hard time, and I was not healthy whatsoever, I started to do things that I never usually do. Like, I left my keys in the door, and I was freaking right out because I couldn't find my keys, and then I realized that I had left them in the door when I left, and I normally never do that. And I know, like, there's a fair amount of people who tend to do that, and I can understand how it would happen, but, you know, and no judgment on the people who do that, but at the same time, I don't do that. Because I'm always, like, very paranoid about someone breaking in while I'm away, and, you know, like, best case scenario, stealing things, worst case scenario, waiting there for me to come back, or hurting or taking my pets. So, like, that's the kind of thing that I never do, because I'm always so cautious and paranoid. So when I did that, I, like, absolutely broke down, and I can remember my brother's on the couch, and I'm freaking right out, sobbing, like, I left my keys in the door, and he's like, okay, she's lost it. And if that was what he was thinking, it wouldn't have been entirely wrong, because that was one of those times where you think that you're just a little bit not fine, but then, you know, you look back on that time and you realize that you were, like, completely screwed up. It's like, oh, I'm not great, but I'm okay. Years later, you're like, wow. I was one panic attack away from Psych ward. Only this time I wouldn't have went to the cushy one for kids. It would have been the serious one. The scary one. Hey, that one I might have actually gotten my dream of a bedazzled straight jacket. Straight jacket. And I'm allowed to make these jokes because I have actually been in a psychiatric hospital twice. Not for reasons you may think. Some people may hear that, see what I'm doing right now, and be like, oh, it's definitely related to that. And no, it wasn't. The reborns were actually a healthy outlet that came after my psych ward days. Although if it hadn't, I can't imagine how that would be alarming, me showing up to the adolescent psychiatric ward with this very realistic doll. Then it would be like a challenge for me to not try and freak other people out with it. Because I have a very warped sense of humor that way. I mean, you know, my thing is I can either cry about it or I can laugh about it, and I'd rather laugh, so... Yeah, but that was my joke for years, is that, you know, I was going to go to the psych ward, and I was going to bedazzle my straitjacket, which I was never put in a straitjacket, because I was never in the hospital for those types of reasons that you would need a straitjacket for somebody, but, yeah. Oh, that, and I wanted to go bounce around in the rubber room, because I felt like it would be fun. But after watching Season 2 of Umbrella Academy and seeing Diego dislocate his arm in the rubber room, it makes me second guess if rubber rooms are as padded and bouncy as I think they are. I mean, granted, that was a show, but if that wasn't a real rubber room and that was a set, it was one damn convincing set. It had stains on the floor. And yes, I have seen a real rubber room, not because I was in one, but because I passed one a few times. And I looked in like, whoa, it's dirty in there. So messed up what they used to do to people who were mentally ill, from like just depression to schizophrenia. Everyone was just like, they're not acting quite right. Let's torture it out of them. Electroshock therapy, they say. Send enough amps through them to power a TV, and then they're like, well, it must work because she's no longer having, you know, schizophrenic episode stuff. And it's like, yeah, you know why? Because she's half dead! Ah! Who knows, maybe like years and years and years from now, a bunch of stuff that we think is healthy right now is going to be like, no, you can't do that, it messes people up. School system! hear that? I didn't. Did you hear that? I didn't. How's that possible? Did you hear that strange sound just now? Yeah, I did. Oh, great. I didn't, even though I pointed it out. Ah, crap. I smudged it. I made a boo-boo. I don't know. Something's telling me I might be a little too tired for my own good. But I've still got work to do. Oh yeah, I gotta email that themajig to that lady. So descriptive, aren't I? And I've slowly been working at trying to open an Etsy shop. Still gotta figure out some things. But yeah, I'm hoping to get that going at some point. Hopefully I'll maybe be able to sell dolls a little faster then. I feel like on something like Etsy, you're gonna get less of the I'll buy it, I'll pay for it, like, tomorrow at this time, and then it's like, just kidding, I'm going to disappear off the face of the planet. Stay up there. You're grounded. Well, okay, Frog fans, this video is running on long, so I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for watching. Keep living the Frogling's life, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.